Good. All I got to do is verify my little thing, and I want you guys to let me know if you can hear me and all that. So, here we go. I feel good about it. It looks like I'm going to be on my own YouTube in just a moment. So, yeah, it's perfect. It's really interesting when you look at angles of cameras and things like that. And so I can hear myself really good on there. And so, guys, I want to thank you for being here. And so I guess I'll start this at the big end of the show. So, hi, guys. I'm saying that right now. And so it looks like we got this thing going. So this is the end of the show, and I'm doing it right now. Guess what this is? It's a bun dance. Duh. Yes, the dance of the buns. And so I don't know if that worked. It's a joke. But I'd just like to thank you guys for attending this June 10th, 2017 broadcast. I'll tell you what, there sometimes you just do not get any information about what you're supposed to be doing. But and so thank God I actually wrote about it a couple months ago. It's actually this series, which is supposed to last about 3 weeks or so, 4 week, a month, has gone on for 3 months. So no wonder I feel like it's rather lengthy. But anyway, I still want to thank you guys for being here, and everything seems to be a go. So I'm going to begin with this. So as I was saying, I really didn't know what was going to happen with this. I'm thinking that I almost look a little crooked on the YouTube. So I'll just move that over a little bit. And so, da, 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 da. Yes. And then, da, 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 da. How's that? That's better. Feels better to me. And so, um, this process is like so interesting because um, first of all, for me to engage in a subject matter such as abundance means that I have to take care of connecting with all the different levels that it means on an interdimensional way. So you have the supreme like throne stuff and the central sun stuff and the cosmic stuff, but then also in the physical. So thank goodness Kartron has been, since 1994, bringing the two together in a certain way that allows us, even myself included, to be able to have access to that information that normally is relegated not to the material world. And so it has been a very interesting journey to be able to dance between those worlds. Um, as we get into these qualities of the higher natures of ourselves, we will be finding these powers that we have been introduced to through the Kartron experience and other things to become much more apropos and useful because basically humanity is about ready to slip off the reservation. Now, it's very good at holding on to evolutions and paradigms and things like that. But there's going to be certain things coming up, and it's just not going to allow humans or Homo sapiens to be able to maintain a connection with the modicums of references which limit them. And so, as you get to the edge, the precipice of this possibility, it's like, oh, you have this new scenario that's going to open up. And these include the laws of the cosmos, which we have inherently not had available to ourselves as limited, separate beings in individual, disconnected bodies and incarnations. And so you have this scenario where all of this is coming kind of not onslaught, but there's a lot of barrage of this energy and information that is coming to us. And it's almost like we're taking care of so many lifetimes of evolution all simultaneously right now. How many of you feel like that? You can respond on the chat of this YouTube broadcast. And so as you get to this level to where you guys are now facing the edge of your own greatness and this divine energy and this greater possibility and this stuff that makes you so beyond just a human Homo sapien life form, um, you kind of are stretched like pull taffy sometime between these things. The other thing that happens is um, I'd really like you, Rebecca. That'd be so cute if you could come out right now and just show them what's left of you today after your long street dancing, holding the sign. Could you do that? It's so cute. Leave the hair. Leave the hair. You gotta leave the hair. Okay, this is what's left of Rebecca right now after she's been dancing for like 9 hours in the Florida heat. It's like, hi guys. So okay, yes. Cue the blonde angel. Gronk. Hi. Okay. Yes. Ooga ooga. It's a blonde moment, literally. And so um, oh my God. That was interesting. I mean, you you were coming out wobbling because you're so sore. You're using muscles that you haven't used. I don't know. I'm trying to. They're not responding on the chat like I think that they should. And so they can't yet. So it's all family. Oh, cue the dog. Okay, that's the pit bull. Then we have a very long hairy wiener that follows Rebecca around. It's a wiener dog that's very unique. So one more verification. Can you guys now? Now, can you guys hear me? And is everything okay? Please respond on the chat. Just to make sure. Yes, Rebecca is still so cute. Yes, she is. We get the leftovers as she shows up. She's got one more of the fitness program in the Florida sign holding style. I'm thinking about we're going to do live web streaming if she has to do that again because she's getting so many honks and people are filming her on her cell phone and stuff, and she's just dancing around with the sign, slowly getting reduced to about 3 pounds of sweat. And so the end, if you remember, Kartron used Rebecca's dancing in the streets for a discount haircut salon that as a symbol of universal abundance. And it's like, how many beings can you know that can do that? Because she literally was bringing forth the angel energy to like 10,000 people a day as they drive by and honk and engage. And it's like she has this ability to people just want to connect with her. So it's very interesting about what's going on. And so let's begin with this process. So, as I'm on the edge of this spirit of abundance, because you were introduced to it, and I really didn't know what was going to happen, and thank goodness Kartron came through, genuflex, cross sign of the cross, which is Tiamat getting hit, or so all these other things. So thank goodness that he was a part of that. And so I'm going to have him come through again and he's going to explain it because as I was laying it out, I had like 15, 20 minutes, 20 minutes to come up with this because it just was not available. One of the things that you guys will be doing as you get into your dream state life, which means in this definition that you will be literally defining and designing and implementing and enacting your existence of purpose, the life that you were meant to live, that which allows your destiny to be embodied, that which gives you the passion for your day and the reason to wake up in an excited fashion. And every day is more exciting than the last type of energy. As you get into that, sometimes you will not receive the information until the moment that it is required. So if you aren't getting anything and you got to go on stage or something, just relax and know that you are God, because it is that part of you that is getting things ready. And this self in the physical is on a need to know basis. For if you had a chance to sometimes get it, then it would be like you don't need to intellectualize or change it, taint it with the mind space energy. And so, because I wasn't getting anything on this, I just got these notes about 20 minutes ago. That means they're fresh off the cosmic press. And so, let's see what this is, but I'm going to let Kartron deal with it. Now, there's going to be some information, some science and stuff. So he's, how they, Kartron and Metatron, will flip into, oh, let's just feel this. So if necessary, they'll just get to this because we don't want to fill your mind full of all these things that you got to think about. But you know how they are. They'll trick you into using your heart to feel when you least expect it. So I'll see you guys later. I'm going to let Kartron handle this season 12, episode 8, The Spirit of Abundance. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you later. One of the most important things that we can tell you to do or recommend that you use in this world is to take very deep breaths in the life that you are living, because it allows the full vitality of the energy that's available at any one moment. And if you are so adept at knowing how to use the breath in certain ways that the co-creator gods themselves do, you can also use it as a tool to bridge dimensions that will allow you to be able to traverse the chasm of separation that the veil of life and death, the seen and unseen, and all of these other things had separating them formerly. As such, as we do sometimes, we will use the breath and have you do such things as breathe the breath of heaven, to breathe in the same breath as the spirit guides, to conjoin the aspiration, which is the lungs bringing in the oxygen, with the other breathing mechanisms, even that of the universe itself. And so when we come in, one of the biggest things that we do is take a nice deep breath, because Patrick, like most humans, do not breathe in the full capacity that the lungs can hold. Greetings, this is Kartron. We would like to thank you for attending this 8th episode of this season 12 of Abundance. In this, we will discuss what is the spirit of abundance, and more so, actually, how you can using esoteric principles to be able to manufacture your destiny life. Now, in order to do this, does that sound like something you guys would like to do? So you can just respond on the chat. And so, you have signed up to go all the way. Have you noticed that with the Kartron experience? Because when we say we're going to do something and then we take you and drop you off up there in the ethers and say, bye-bye, find your own way back, all of that is training to give you the abilities and capacities of God itself. And so, inasmuch as this state of abundance is in the same vein of science as the rest of the cosmic, the foundational sciences of the cosmos, is what abundance could be classified as one of, then you will be engaging in the same way as God. And this then, as we enjoin you together with that aspect of yourself that is a prosperous and abundant and very fruitful self as creator, to then precipitate it into this life and incarnation that you are watching with right now in this broadcast. And so, are you guys wanting to basically start bringing in that natural state of divine abundance that is you, that is your natural beingness, into this realm, so that you can start an improvement upon your incarnation and existence? It is the nature of this abundant state that is necessary to consider the capacities of its spirit in this week. So if you look at abundance having a spirit, that is what this subject matter will be discussing. Now, if you are finding anything that is going to be not in alignment with, or perhaps contrary to the abundant natural state of your being in the divine, in this world, then that's going to come up. Because it's kind of just the thing that is there that is tempering your experience, right? And so, if you are able to take these adverse and imbalanced or dissonant experiences of a lower nature or darker or negative quality and use them properly as a mechanism for your own evolution and process of increase, then these become very important tools to do the final refinement and prototyping of your being in order for you to receive the true nature of your power as abundant God. So, in other words, your stuff might come up. So, in order to do this, it's necessary to give you full disclosure, as we have always said in the Kartron experience, so that you guys can get a handle on what the heck you're dealing with. Otherwise, oh, that's okay, it's all love and light. Really? That's so generic? It's almost like an insult to your beings to not really give you all the modicums of the capacities that you're dealing with if we're asking you to do God work. Then shouldn't you have all the abilities, tools, perceptions, and cognizance so that you can then have the proper perception and the clarification so that you can make a consensual choice even on this level? In order to engage it fully, then that means a full engagement of it to you as well. So therefore, it is mandatory from the divine realms in order to have a proper construct of engagement between that realm and this one involving you, that you must be fully informed of all aspects of it so that you can make your own consensual choice, because this world specializes in what could be classified as deceit. It's like, oh, is the medical industry there to heal you or to suck on you through insurance and make sure that you don't get quite perfectly healed? Is government designed to be in service and provide for all the requirements of society and the human race? Or is it there to control you, manipulate you, dominate you, and tell you what you cannot do again and again and again? Is economy supposed to, is it really supposed to be there to give you prosperity in an abundant state so that everyone has everything they need, all their needs met in a beautiful world and society that is basically heaven on earth? Or is it there to control, dominate, and if you don't have, it is your tough luck? You see, those are the inherent qualities that have been imbued into this intentionally by certain forces not of the highest divine to maintain a level, a modicum of control and manipulation of the hollow matrix and all species within it. So when we talk about bringing in this divine abundance, that means we are bringing in something quite contrary to the nature of this place, of the third dimension. So, certain considerations are necessary to consider in order for you to know how to take these divine principalities, which are the natural laws, the natural universal states of being, which is abundance, and being able to bring it into the capacity of limitation. First of all, it is necessary to know that you are not the world. If you are doing this, you are doing it for the self, because it is necessary for you not to take on the burden of the collective while you are attempting to do a self-improvement. Now, this is not just a cut and dried statement. There's overlaps and overlays. But in order for you to do this, we are going to have to address you as a self and not as a whole collective thing. So, in this broadcast, you are not the whole thing. You are a self, you are the individual that we are talking to, and this is applying to you. And the reason we have to separate you from that greater work at this time is because it is not your responsibility to have to change the world or get it to this place, because it is what they're choosing and you are choosing what you're choosing. Does that make sense, everybody? And so, what do you choose? Do you want an abundant state? Do you feel that you should not have extreme wealth, or do you feel like you shouldn't have more than another? Do you feel like you should limit yourself because you shouldn't have too much? How dare you have greater than your allotted portion than what this world says you should? Are you feeling like maybe you are not quite deserving of it? Oh, I don't know if I have a complete worthiness, or even if you say you do, and there's any subtle stuff in there, do you feel that that could be influencing your decision at this time as well, with hesitancy? And so, are you ready for this experience? Is what we are asking all the different aspects of yourself, even the negating parts, which may come right now astrologically. This is the perfect time to have your childhood issues come up, because there's a Gemini, and Gemini is great at compromises. And so this energy right now is about the unknown wayfarer, which is the journey that you don't need to know what's around the corner. Now, that may not have been a total honorable statement about astrological influences, but that's the qualities in the air as you're on the axis between the left and right brain, which is these qualities of creative and then intellectual information, questions, questions, questions. This is in reference to the Pele report of June 7th. And so it is this right in the middle, on the edge of the balancing point between the known and unknown, the logical and illogical, the spirit and the material, that you are right now attending this broadcast here in June 10th, 2017. So, what a perfect time to be on the razor's edge, is it not? So, now, what we are going to do with you is we're first of all going to activate your other mind, because we're going to reference that, or actually use it as your reference to perceive. And then we're going to basically kind of do this. Patrick scanned, he's learned to scan holographically like we do, and he sees that you guys might need a diagram for this of the information, because it can be kind of a confusing conflagration of crossroads. And so, first of all, Archangel Michael, please sound the clarion call as we open the portal to the grand hall of the archangels. We now also ask Angel Radiant to bring in forth her counsel to prepare to open the books of life, because do you not have to also address all of those unfinished businesses as humans if you're going to be able to be no longer bound as a primary construct in your humanity? And so we are also going to have Angel Soleil, the Dominion angel with the central sun source light, being able to radiate this energy, because we want to have a lot of light on this subject. And so as we do this now, we are going to ignite the pillar within, the pillar of transformation, and the inner source light in your still point. If you are new to this, then just relax. 1, 2, 3. We will be doing this to you, with you, in the interests of efficiency and time. 1, 2, 3. Just feel this sun igniting within you. And it may feel a little warmer and comfortable or radionic, and it is okay. It's kind of supposed to be like that, because this is a dynamic science that we're bringing in from the realm of stasis, of the universal nature, which is in balance of the cosmic state. And so now we are going to take, and we're going to expand that sun, and that's going to emoliate all of your flesh and all the relevant bodies, the mental, emotional, and spiritual as well, etheric, and the causal, and the actuary bodies. So just feel them all cooking and stirring up. So what we're doing is we're getting you guys just really riled up vibrationally so that we can then make you more available more easily with this divinity. Okay, so now we are going to take the Saint Germain blanket and we're going to from below to above. 1, 2, 3. Just lift it up, breathe it up from below as it goes through your body and burns everything away. Release everything that isn't appropriate or is not in the perfect state of your abundant state now. 1, 2, 3. Breathe it up, breathe the purple through, transmute, clear everything out, loosen it up, and breathe it up and out. Breathe it from below again, another blanket of deeper violet. Really digging deep, going into the primordial aspect of your Dantian, that which has been your center through every life. Burning, churning, yearning, and learning, up and out. Opening yourself up. It's like the cosmic nadi. As this meridian called your life opens up of the cosmic nature of the presence of your soul in this world, now we have you having access to the energy and places that you will require to perceive it correctly. So now we are going to activate the crystal temple of love in your hearts, the ones we've planted in you before, or the ones that you who are new to this will receive now. See this crystal temple of love as a clear crystal, a beautiful temple made of clear stone now. And now we are going to put in a central sun of a divine nature in the center entrance, the grand entrance foyer where the councils do meet through the temple gate. So in this great and mighty chamber, we now put the sun at the moment of pi, which is 1/3, 2/3, in the height and the placement of your chamber of gathering. So feel this illuminate and burning forth now. Now we're going to ignite that central sun and make it 10 times stronger. And feel it burning through a different type of burning vibe coming out of your heart. And now we're going to go to the Dantian, which is the 5th dimensional center. And you can, if you're wondering where it is, it's kind of like between your heart and your power chakra. And this is that center place. It's like a cosmic power spot, not your power chakra. But if you are not able to really imagine it, then just use your power chakra. So now we put a central sun in there. 1, 2, 3, now. Igniting this, it is a different quality, more golden than yellow, burning through and emoliating your flesh bodies. Okay, body, mind, and spirit. Now we are going to take and we're going to, with the breath of God, blow the world away. And what will be left will be the realm of heaven that surrounds you. 1, 2, 3. And now within the crystal temple of love in your heart, see these great and mighty walls and pillars and towers spire around you as we meet in the chamber of love. We now invite your primary council of guides to come and surround you. So we are all in one great gathering, yet at the same time, you each have your own enclave. So it is a wheel within a wheel, such as Ezekiel's description. And so now that we have created the alternate space, the realm between realms, dimension between dimensions, we will begin. As we examine Patrick's lost perception, he found it very challenging to be able to get the information of what the spirit of abundance is as he was looking through the different realms, because it is like a consistent chaos of a fluidic movement. There's no consistency or appearing to be so, no solidity, no structure, no outline, no template to follow, because it's all fluidic. And so he was like, guys, I'm not getting anything. So we'll just have to wing it, as Rebecca lovingly says. But then about 15 minutes before the event here, he did get this information, and this is something that we are going to discuss with you, and perhaps you should get the diagrams as well. So as this came in, now, do you guys remember why things don't show up until the very last moment? That is correct. Some of you are thinking in this direction. It is because the possibility is not set until the moment it is expressed. Therefore, it could be changing and in 1 minute be very different as far as the possibility goes. So if you structure it too soon in this cosmic work of precipitation, you could actually have a diminished level of it, that it could have been much greater, because it is like a consistent hollow matrix of a multi-thread layer of reality weaving together, breathing back and forth, which is always in a flux of stasis. Does that make sense? Because it's like it's always moving, always breathing, always growing, always evolving. The potentiality is always changing. The kinetic quality, the static quality, the beingness, the doingness, all of that stuff, it is always changing. And it's like, if you guys are going to even think about using your human references to delve into this level of reality, because are we not helping you to engineer your destiny today? But how do you do that if it's like this cosmic blob like Play Doh that doesn't stand still? It is necessary to have the references of the gods. This is not something really to start defining the references themselves, because that is a whole other concept that the beings who are the co-creators actually use, that are way beyond the human level of perception. And here's one example. Okay, you know about linear time, one moment after another. Okay, now make it spherical. Time in all directions. All moments are now. The future and the past are occurring. All possibilities are now. All of these things are occurring. All of your past lives are now. All the civilizations, everything is happening right now. But oh goodness, how in the heck can you make a sense of that if you're in a body, or you're perceiving with your mind, that you are in your brain? It's like these things require a very different mode of operation than what you have been made to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay out some of these things. And let's see. We are scanning this. It is very interesting. This is from the Quantum Boot Camp. And so this would get very complicated. We're just going to tell you, and then we can get into diagrammatical natures, and then we'll do a demonstration. And this should then give you an example. So we are going to have you now be able to breathe that golden light in the heart, in your heart of your temple of love. So go there now, see this temple around you, at the sanctuary of the soul, the garden of the gods within. Okay, see the beautiful garden in the temple courtyard, or maybe even as one with the temple. And now breathe it together into a synchronous experience. Breathe it out. Keep doing this and observe what happens with the spatial perception. These are master techniques. Breathe it in. You see, you are used to using things as references to perceive things. But what we are doing with you as a co-creator saying that you are a co-creator in this. Look at yourself as a God. Okay? You are here, you're maintaining, you're facilitating, you're creating. And so, in this way, then you are not using references, you are the reference. So, as you breathe, you are the vortex, that which recalibrates. And by not holding on to being able to see anything a certain way, you continually allow yourself to evolve in a recalibrated evolution and perception. Now, just feel these words. Don't get lost in the head. You may diminish the experience of this broadcast. Okay, so now, in order to understand how to take the spirit of abundance, which is one of the natural states, one of the foundation energies of the cosmos, because there is abundance everywhere. You've heard that how many times? Yet you are wondering how to pay your bills here. Why is that like that? Because this is a specifically limited hologram. You've got to have controlled experiments here of evolutions. Because imagine if you took a dysfunctional or lower experience and multiplied it times a billion and sent it out to the cosmos. Not a cleanup. It would be very challenging to retain that or contain it. And so, here in the material world, it is inherently limited, not because of a negative nature, but because everything is allotted its own degree, its own measure of energy. So, there's a calculation that goes on in the God co-creator realms that determines, well, in order to have this thing evolutionize, or this relationship go to this level, or this person's possibility in this career go to a certain level, or whatever, then this is the amount of energy that it can have, so then we can see how far they go with that. And in doing so, then, once it's run its course, then the records, which is assessment and a recording, and then it goes on to the next experience. But there's billions of these things going on all the time. And so, in order to be able to perceive that level of reality to where you have a certain measure of energy, everything to its own measure, then just realize that it's the perfect amount for anything. Now, how many people know people who talk a lot and don't get much done? How many of you know people who are silent and are always creating? How many people know that they will discuss things enough to be able to create clarity, to create a plan, so they can then implement it, and then they convert the words into action? Those are the choices of what to do with the measure of energy for each thing. So, in order to consider all of these things wisely, meaning from a higher level of reality into the best, most opportunity, there's a way that you can tap into the mind of God that will allow you to be able to perceive all things as divine, even that which appears to be the most negative or heinous of actions. Because there is a divine result that can be derived from any of these things. As such, if you perceive them in that way, then you have the benefit of that perception. And there's a lot of things that you don't have to be subjected to, such as being caught up in that lower rodeo. So as your perception gets to the place where you're vibrationally available to your own resonant frequency, we are going really quick here. We're not getting into the details of this because this would take 3 times longer as a broadcast. So we're going boom, 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 boom. Now, remember, guys, we create holographic perceptions so that we will say this, and then when it's complete, we say, and this is what it creates. So don't try to hold on to any one of these thoughts or revelations. So just go along with us, and as you go, say, okay, cool, and just go along the ride. So, as Patrick was considering the spirit of abundance, he was looking at what is the different realms and how does it perceive abundance itself. These are the references that are necessary to share with you so that you can see what's involved to take such a beautiful, divine, abundant, prosperous, unlimited energy, relatively speaking, and bring it into this little experiment called life on Earth. Sure doesn't seem little when you're caught up in it, does it? So, if we look at spirit, right, you can consider the different stations. We will say this slow enough to where you can write it if you want, but it is a lot of info, but this is necessary. So, as was said before, there is a nature, a station, an office, and a dominion, each with their different qualities. Now, feel this, guys. You're being trained to listen to the mind of God in your heart. Okay, don't use the brain. As soon as you think twice about something, then this thing can hook in. So, just the very first thought on all of these, and that includes sensing. So, how do you feel? What is the sensing about this? Okay, so that in spirit, in the throne of God, in the universal nature, there's the essential nature. In the ether, which would be the ethereal level, which would be below the thrones or the cosmic level, and on the way to earth, in the more like atmospheric nature, is the quality. Now you have the cosmic ether, like the Ein and the Ein Sof and the Ein Sof hour, but that's not really relevant, is it? It's so far out there because you want to bring it in here and start using it as a mechanism to start designing the life that you want in the form of an abundant existence. So let's stay relevant to this planet, please. So on the cosmic level, spirit of abundance would be defined as the condition or state of being. Now, each of these words are very specific. Being, okay? In the atmospheric ether, it would be more like an ephemeral condition or quality. It should be like an inherent esoteric essence of it. Now, if you're looking at it as a self, the spirit of abundance from the intellectual or the mind space would be a fluidic perception. That's when we're saying, oh my God, I can't see that it's everywhere. There's nothing to hold on to. There's no handles on this device. I can't even make sense of this because there's no references for me. So then the mind could best perceive it as a fluidic perception. Now, the mind may attempt to contain or bottle it, right? But good luck with that because it will flow through the container of your perception and then it will still be in this ephemeral state. And so it's like you will bottle the ocean, but it's a bottle in an ocean. Now, the emotions, there's two sets. There's the universal and the physical. So the spirit of abundance in that way, the universal or the throne or cosmic, right, would be that level of perceiving the more of the essential nature and the quality of the spirit of abundance. Now, in this, you can consider the spirit of abundance also like a sentient being. Now, in the physical, it can be the perceived quantity of resource because the physical is connected here with this material holomatrix. So hopefully we have lost you guys already. Are you guys getting it? Are you staying with us, or how is it going? When Patrick was creating the quantum boot camp, he was like going, what the heck? When he was creating this, and how do you take the divine sciences and bring them in? And he wasn't using anyone else's references. This is the stuff that he had figured out over 2 decades with this being and other people. Then it's like he had to create references, but he had no foundational references for those references because the references were needed to create something referential, but then the references themselves had no reference. So he had to literally create the primordial levels of things, of perception, in order to work with everything from the highest throne of God to the most physical nature of it, to the most just there's nothing else exists. This is the world of matter, and this is who we are. And so this is why these things are of a reference, not of a human state. Okay, so now we said, don't use your mind, use your heart. Feel this. Stay with us. The influences were the next thing. that Patrick realized. What are the things that are influencing? Now, take all of these words literally, and you'll see, okay, these are the affectants, right? The things that were affected that we just went through. Okay, those are the perceptions, right? Perception is one of those things that affect how something is as you connect or engage or perceive it, because quantum perception defines the universe. It will be reflected back. So then there's these things which are influences. What are the things which will influence the spirit of abundance? Well, there's the laws, and these laws are different in the different realms. So if you look at cosmic law, then that is more of a universal nature, and that is more of a unified field of a quantum state. A spiritual law is the spiritual law, more of a celestial or heavenly type nature. The etheric is more of an unseen, that ephemeral thing, remember. And we're going to call this space in between the etheric or the unseen to the seen. We're going to call that plasmic, because it is a process in movement from one realm or dimension to the next. And then there's the material. Now, each of these laws are different. So, a universal law of a cosmic nature will be very different than a plasmic law of a precipitation coming into the physical. And knowing which one to use is the key. Otherwise, you could have something have a very different effect in your intended state. Okay, and then there's the sciences, right? So there's the universal sciences, and so that is, it's even quantum physics, wormholes, quarks, pulsars, the stuff of creation that the mind of God created, the divine mathematics itself, or the sacred geometry, those sciences, where you then create the resonant fields and you bring in those qualities of a cosmic nature into and imbue it into the structure that you create, and that's the nature of the temple science throughout the civilizations of Earth. Then there's the subtle energy sciences, which are, as we have often said, will, focus, intent, invocation, convocation, and so evocation. And so then there is the other ones that goes into more of a stasis type science, which is, but that stasis is beingness. So that is there where the subtle energies are. Even though they have movement, it's different than the being, the doingness that's here in the physical. So then you have the dynamic sciences, that's doing. So you see we're creating all these references. If we had a proper PowerPoint or diagram, it would be much more easy to perceive. So we're not going to apologize, but just know that we are planting these seeds and we are having them stay in your psyche. So as you get into the stasis, which is the beingness, then you can consider stasis different than dynamic, which is doingness. Okay? And then you have the material, right, of the science of those physical laws and the five senses and all of that. But this is where the laws of physics, force vectors, gravity, and these other things affect it. And then you have those other influences. So those are the aspects or the qualities, the first one. This next one was the influences of the laws and the sciences. And then you have these other things which influence, such as intent, thought, your activity, which will be much more of a doing science, yes? The precipitation from one dimension to the next, the materialization, which is the physicalization of it, where it starts appearing in a manifest way, physical, seen realm. And then there's the actualization, which is the enactment. And then there are the capacities of the spirit of abundance. And we get to why all of this is being presented to you, because these are the things that can affect it. So when we describe it, we're going to go back to this, and you'll say, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, because this is not just something that says precipitate, boom, by the power of Grayskull or whatever. This is like working with the sciences of the divine to be able to bring in a manifest destiny precipitating into your life as a fulfilled state to purpose. So then there's the capacities or locations of this in references, and so of the presence and the possibility, and then also where is it active? Where is things happening? So that's the activity. That's the where is that located in these different realms of, say, universal, etheric, um, the cosmic, the atmospheric, and then it goes into the mental, and then the emotional, and then the physical, right? Where is it located in this process of your being, where in your makeup of it? So then, as you do this, then it will then define its precedence, which is where does it preside? So that may have been confusing, and if not, we are probably wondering about you, because if you're perceiving this, we really have overbaked you over the years. But if you are getting it, then you get it, and you're not relegated to human thinking anymore. So if we're going to put this in the simplest of diagrams, so guys, if you could respond to see how crazy you've gotten so far, then that would be good. Do you get any of this? Have you been feeling how this feels? Please respond in the chat. So, we're just going to do this very simply. You can see how complicated this would seem, and that's why we're going to create real simple references for you. And this is something like you've seen in the Tree of Life and things like that, but not with the stations and the structure of the geometry. You'll be amazed at how many geometries are in the actual Tree of Life. And it's not just one-sided. There's four sides to the Tree of Life, and that arcane wisdom is what tarot cards and also playing cards came from. And so then we're just going to make these different levels, and then you can see where you fit into this. And so if you would consider this more of a universal nature, and then you get into more of a throne-like nature, or that spiritual celestial realm of God, and then you get into, so the universal and the cosmic, that's what the U and the C we are doing is. And then you get into the throne, right? And then you get into the other levels, which then starts coming into the other aspect. So it would be atmospheric. That's like the atmosphere of the unseen, the ethereal, the ephemeral. And then you'd have the intellectual. Now, there's a spiritual that's on the outside of the intellectual body, and there's one that's actually outside the soul. So that's two different primary states, because the soul uses that. Inside, it's like the universe still has a spiritual layer between it and the self. Okay, so the etheric, and then you have the intellectual, that's the mind space, the mental plane here. And then you would have basically, the physical and all of that, and the emotional, right? And there's other bodies like the causal, the actual body and stuff like that. The one that actualizes things, that is part of the causal process. And then you have the physical, right? So the physical, so you see there's actually a few layers left, and we can use those for Earth, because it is your connection. Now, what are you guys in all of this, right? Are you not able to touch all of this? Well, then are you not important as a reference for all of it, so that we can use you once you intend it to access the divine into the physical world of Earth, so that we can help her, like you are intending as well, to help bring Earth into her true prosperous state as an Eden star, new Earth world. So your value to us, you see, value is relevant in the spirit of abundance. It's how value, which is either inherent or perceived. And that is important enough for someone to write down. All right? depending on how the value is, and then what is the valuation, what is valuable to someone. And so then if they take that, oh, well, here's an example. I was going in the store and a child smiled at me and it made me feel good. And so, as a being, I consider the kindness of humanity as very valuable. It allows us to be a beautiful species that's still connected with God's source type of thing. Then that smile of a child would have a great valuation because it lit you up and it brought you to the place where you were naturally abundant in that spirit. And so, as you then perceived how valuable that was that not an extreme level of abundance? And as it was the esoteric nature, then was that not also bespeaking of the spirit of abundance itself? Now, we are perceiving that this may not be the greatest way to honor the subject matter of the spirit of abundance, but that's one example. So, if someone considers something very valuable to them, then that is where their perception of abundance lies. Now, how many of you know that that will change because it changed for you? What you considered important a few years ago, suddenly, oh, that's okay, but now this is the evolutionary state, and it's supposed to be like that because you are evolving being. And so, Elga, you say yes, but I can perceive, but I cannot walk. Your two commas in between was those words. I cannot walk. What are you doing walking during Kartron broadcast anyway? Please do not drive your mothership or operate any other heavy light equipment. Okay, so if you take the spirit of abundance in this process as this very rudimentary design, right? We'll just say the spirit of abundance. As it applies with all of this, then you can see it would have a different quality in each of it. So now, as we do this, let us look at how you can take that beautiful divine condition, the essence, the nature, the sentient quality of abundance itself, and bring it into your physical lives. So, how are we going to do this with you? How about if we take you out of yourself? We already started doing that. But in order to be a part of making your own destiny, then it's time to go to the factory where your destiny is fabricated. And so now, on the count of 3, if you are so ready, fall back into your center. 1, 2, 3. Let everything go. Breathe and exhale and let your whole existence go. Now, some of you already burned the earth away, remember? Because that's not your reference. We brought you into the temple of love in your heart, where we are all gathered, yet separate. Okay, so now breathe in the cosmic energy of the source light within. Go to the center light that is the sanctuary of your soul. If you are wondering where that is, go to the temple of love in your heart. Breathe that beautiful golden sunlight of the central sun in the grand chamber in the temple of love in your heart. Breathe it out. And we're going to have you keep breathing it. We're going to keep you connected after the broadcast so that you guys will keep breathing the cosmic source light. Well, that makes our job easier, more efficient. Okay, so now, as you keep breathing, we are synchronizing the worlds within you. Remember, you're the vortex as God. Breathe it out. Okay, this is a rhythmic calibration. Do you know when two people in love match eyes, their hearts synchronize their beats as one? And so it is that sympathetic science that you are using Did we ask the Angelic Peanut Gallery for a comment? And if you want to, you can come out and tell the audience what you felt about that statement just now. Rebecca, we've planted a seed and we made it to where she can't resist. She may be coming out. It is true. Just like the heart, the earth has a heartbeat. It used to be at 8 beats per second. It was called the Schumann resonance. And now it goes up to 120 because the earth has found its true love as God. So the new earth and the existing earth are meeting. And as their eyes meet, their hearts beat as one. And so you guys get to go through the hells of releasing everything so that can happen. And so let us continue. And so, guys, now as we do this, keep breathing, synchronizing the temple of love in your heart, the temple of wisdom in your mind of God, which we are activating. Also, the temple of beingness in your center. It's not power, it's beingness. If you are going to want to bring your destiny through, are you not going to be in your being instead of the great power of the all-powerful Oz? It's like, oh, that's just kind of like immature, isn't it? I can make things happen in this world. Oh, well, that's amazing. Ooh, look at him. He's so good. It's like, come on, really? If you want real power, then you'd use the power of yourself as God, wouldn't you? But how many people are ready to be God while being human? Oh my God, what if I'm successful? What if I have millions of people? What if I'm fulfilling my destiny? What if I'm loved at every moment? What if I have unlimited funds and resources? Oh no, can't have that. I better figure out why I shouldn't have it. All that silly programming is now getting ready to go. Now, when you heard Rebecca moan and exclaim from on high that she felt how precious it was that when lovers meet, their eyes make their hearts beat as one. How valuable, how abundant, and how much of the spirit of abundance was expressed by her just now and felt by you. It is within the primordial chaos of the unknown that great wisdom emerges from the heart within you as God. As this wisdom wells up within you, it stirs the soul in its place as the great and mighty keeper of the path of light that is your destiny in this world. For if you do not live fully as who you truly are you not dishonoring others because you as a gift are not given fully to the world? And is that not what you signed up for? Now, it is not a mistake that you're saying, I don't know. It's okay, because we use these things and they are implanted in your beings and perceptions and everything else to be timing mechanisms that will allow for the evolution of your being in the proper timing. Time is the measure of experience. That's what we use as a device to measure the length and scheduling of an experience, of a process, of a relationship, of a connection, or all of that. What is the season that it is in, the spring, summer, fall, and winter of its fulfillment? And so, if you are saying, oh God, I don't know, I might have made a mistake, I didn't live my life, just know that you didn't get behind schedule. It's okay if you feel that you are far from living the greatness of your destiny as God here. So as you get into these things, then have we not created a shortcut and brought the spirit of abundance in through your breathing. That will allow you to calibrate all of these things. So as you get into the greatest cosmic level, to the earth level awakening, to the self as the pillar of heaven on earth, then you are the symbiotic connection. You're that thing which joins it together as the tree of life for prophecy. So this rhythmic breathing happens through you, who you are as a being in what you do. Destiny has never been meant to be held on to. Ask Angel Ariel of the integrated energy therapy. It is what you do with it that is your legacy. And so, in this way, if you have your destiny or even the possibility of it, are you not completely abundant in the spirit of abundance anyway? It just has a potentiality that has not been enacted through the science of the doing, of the precipitation into this realm of doingness, of materialness, right? So haven't we just laid out something that you would really like to get into and all of these things? This is, even though this is the details of this is some of the capacities of consideration. We have implanted them in you because there's such, the time just is not enough. In order for us to do this properly, this could be a whole course, could it not? Well, when we get into the soul of abundance next week, then it will be about abundance as a soul of God. And this is where we're going to merge you together as yourself, as creation itself. And that is the fulfillment of the abundance series. And Patrick will be like, this is the longest month I've ever had. Well, one of them, because this is taking 3 months. But it's okay, Patrick. The evolutions were perfect timing, your schedule for presenting this information perfectly. You see how we set that up? It was your evolution that was determining when these broadcasts were going to happen. So that which appears delayed or whatever is a definite nature of the necessity of this. If we pushed you along and went boom, 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 boom in 1 month with this, then you guys would have been, cannot compute, wobbly, robot needs oil or something. And so we are giving it to you in the nature. Because, guys, look at who you are. You're part of the Kartron experience. What does that make you? You are holding the point. Everything you've ever been through, we are accessing right now. In this and other lives. By engaging us, we have full engagement of everything you ever been, including your potentiality. So you are giving us full access to the cosmos in relation to you. That's what we are doing. That's how important that you are. So in this way, we value you as extreme abundance to us. Now, we did not get into, but Kartron, how can I bring this into my life and start creating more of an abundant state? Into this life, into this physicalness, so I can pay my bills, have more money, get better love, have more balance, be happier, more joy, release the weird, and bring in the good. But this is just the references that were necessary. So this will go into next week, and this will then allow you to be able to take this. And this is the references that we're going to use. And we're going to show you how it all fits together as you. So what we've done, we've also planted seeds of potentiality. While we've been sharing this information, we have been literally putting these into your potentiality matrix. In other words, what is the possibility? There is something that we have not shown anyone for several years. It's called the field of all divine possibility. And what we've done is we have energized that for you, and perhaps that can be discussed, what it is. Let's just say that is all the great divinity that's possible in your life has this thing that you can access and energize. And so then we have also then activated a little bit of clarity, but this is enough for you to absorb. How are you guys doing? Please. Yes. Good. All right. Did you guys get this? Because we really gave you, if unless you have a mind of God as a co-creator, it's like trying to perceive this as a human. It's like what? That's why we're attempting to create these references. So the influences, the sciences, the natures, the states, the station, the office, and the dominions, right? You see how this is necessary to perceive it differently as this whole thing. What you are hearing is a dog eating and drinking. They were holding the plates, and so it got energized. And so, how are you guys doing? And did you perceive it okay? Now, Joanne, Elga, Debbie, Bigfooty, you see, you guys, you've been trained and calibrated. You've been really aligned with these high frequencies. So it's easier for you to be able to perceive it. In order for Patrick to make this for the masses, it will have to be distilled differently. And that's what you guys are helping him to do. Your support is doing so vastly as well. He used the last of his funds today to invest in a highly successful, potentially successful course in how to take rundown properties and then be able to turn them around and make them not only beautiful places, but also make a profit on it to embellish his abundance. And so here he did not go, oh my God, I've just used up all my money. Oh no, what am I going to do? He has gotten to the place where he perceives that, oh, money's the energy. I'll just have more come in. It goes out, it comes in. It's an interchange that we use between each other. And so you guys have been supportive and allowed that to happen. It allowed him to put $700 to $1,000 in Rebecca's car so that it will be ready for the North American and West Coast tour later this year. And so he knows that more's coming in. And so this is just the thing that is just part of a process. So it is that thing that once he figures out, guys, and he's going to share with you on how, if you do this correctly and have the modicum of dedication, it is one of the easiest ways to bring in an income or finances or something, and not even licenses are required to do it. But Patrick felt good about it. You see, one of the things that allowed him to create this thing that we offer to you, this vessel of the broadcast and the experience and all of that, was because he was able to listen to the driver that is connected with the universe. It is not this thing, oh, I don't know, sure if I have enough, oh, no, all these things like, wait, it's like driving with the gas and the brake at the same time. Please, brain, relax. And so as he got his brain to relax, because he said, I'm going to stay in my still point. I'm going to stay in that place of inner peace. And I'm going to have all of life like that. I'm going to perceive life meditatively. I'm going to see that all thing has a divine nature. And it is something that is all perfectly designed, no matter how imbalanced and broken and imperfect it appears, because it is all part of this holomatrix of experience. And this way, he was able to disconnect and disincarnate from himself, his humanness. It was Rebecca that allowed him to touch his heart, because he was saying, oh, goodness, love, that seems like a really good recipe for disaster. But he was able to, through her presence, be able to start finding a safe place to start feeling. And so as he was in the still point within, living life meditatively, he then was able to say, hey, brain, this is what's going on. And the brain says, well, that's cool, because the brain kept seeing proof that it was working. And so the brain couldn't argue. It's like, well, wow, okay. So Patrick spent 10, 15, 20 years having his brain realize, you notice he didn't train it, sit, stay, down, the lion on the stool in the circus that now closed down. It was this thing that allowed his mind to see where it belonged. All things in this world have a place. And so when that is not perceived, then an imbalance occurs because these things feel as alone components of reality, that then it must do something, and it takes drastic measures to find its place or make something happen or provide for itself or survive or whatever that it thinks it should do. And it doesn't really benefit the fact that this is a world based upon not enough. So then it will be like going into more drastic measures and stuff. And so, as these things find their place in existence of where everything belongs, then you will find that abundance is a natural state, and the spirit of it starts flowing through into this quality, as a quality, into an existence of all these things that has a place and has the revelations as to what that place is. So Patrick's mind realized its place was not in being in charge and doing the hard work and trying and doing it right and failing endlessly until we find the right formula. It realized that, oh, well, if we got these other forces that are able to take care of things in a way that's easier, well, then let's work with those. It helped that he was baked by Ra when he channeled him and almost internally combusted in him. He became a walk-in from the void of substance as well, but that's different. And so then Patrick's mind realized that it was its place in a relationship to the all parts of the self. There's the heart, the mind of God, the cosmic aspect, the physical stuff, all of that. And so the mind realized that it didn't need to be in charge. It was actually part of a cooperative, a teamwork that was allowing it to be able to allow the heart, which the mind then realized that that was where the phone call, the smartphone to God existed. And so then it started allowing the heart, instead of capping it off because I'll be in charge, and it really is a sincerity that the mind has in its dominant bullying nature sometimes. It really wants to make sure things are done, but it's just designed for this plane. But it understands it doesn't need to have to operate the cosmos. It's managing this world, but it's not the one that's pushing everything out of the way to make sure you're provided for, because then it's 10 times more work, as you know. And so then the mind was able to relax, and that allowed for a spirit of abundance to flow into it because then it knew its place. When you find your place, then you start relaxing. The more you relax, the more the universal flow comes in. The more universal flow comes in, the more the prosperity occurs. It isn't something that you're doing, except that you are being. So if you are calling your being your doing, then that's it, because that's eventually what you will be doing, is being who you are. So his mind relaxed more and more, allowed this flow of information. The heart said, hey, what about this? And that is for another broadcast about how the process works, how he can work and bring this information through without getting in his own human way. Does that make sense, guys? Please respond on the, on the chat. And so this is as far as we are supposed to go right now when we've planted seeds and your potentiality is activating, and we will see what next Wednesday and Saturday come up with. Patrick is so grateful that you guys have been such the dedicated ones to keep this facilitating. And so he actually is happy with what has created. He has facilitated ceaselessly with this process of working with us, and now the Metatron, and then the angels, and all that other stuff, and then relegating it into a vessel that can then be shared through this type of science and technology. No computers were harmed in the making of this session. And so then this allowed him to do this. And so he's very grateful for your support and doing this because it really is making it possible. He's also learned that the timing is always perfect. So realize if something isn't happening in the timing that you think it should. Now think is brain, right? Oh, it's got to happen. Oh my God, I'm behind schedule. Take that away. All right. On the count of three, you're going to breathe in the fact that all is in perfect timing. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All is perfect. Okay. Breathe in again. All is good. Breathe it out into your life. All is joyous. Breathe it out. Now we've just calibrated you with 3 beautiful influences, have we not? Perfect, joyous, and perfect. And good. So this way, using the universal science of attraction-based cosmos, and then if we create you with those qualities of goodness and perfection and joy, are you not now the vortex of those things? This then creates an attraction for the spirit of abundance because the spirit of abundance operates on the principalities of those qualities and the other divine sciences of heaven. So this is what we gave you. This is your Mickey that we gave you. So thank you everybody for your time and thank you for being here on the Kartron Experience. We are complete, Patrick. We'll finish. Goodbye. Hi guys. Wow, that was pretty neat. It was over here. And Elga, thank you so much. I really like that's great. The best experience in your life. Oh my God. And Kartron, isn't he just so cool? When he sneaks it in when we're not looking. How I mean, I'm in heaven. I'm not looking because I'm not here. And he comes in, it's like da 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 da. Oh look, something pretty, and goes bam. All of a sudden you see stars because you just got smacked from left field. Oh boy. He's always so good at that. It's so entertaining. And you never know when Daddy K will strike next. And then he'll coat you with sugar and let you heal with joy and glee and fairy dust and angel feathers. And it's just like, how does he do that? I stopped asking a long time ago. I also liked the fact that he used how I operate as a reference and how, so he basically gave one of the secrets of mastery that I use to where I have a relaxed state because you have to create a place of tranquility to allow that energy to come in. Because if you have stress, you blocked it out. Okay. So these are very quiet things. And I haven't even been able to clarify it because it's so ephemeral. It's like, oh, I'm going to find this thought and put it into a structure that you can understand. Good luck with that. So, how are you guys doing? Thank you for being here. And wow, this was interesting for me, and I appreciate, like Kartron says, everything you guys do and how supportive you are. This really is the path of mastery. Wherever we're going there in a grand way, are we not? And so this is really cool. We're getting all this stuff prototyped. I'm ready for that outburst of extreme abundance. What if suddenly somebody says, "Oh my God, you have to be picked up on this cable network or something?" It's like, that's fine, cool. And so I also spent many years knowing exactly what I was going to do with extreme abundance as I was working with the Hawaiian Kingdom. So I have a prototype. So if somebody says, "Here's $10 billion," I would know how to actually take and multiply that exponentially real quick, pay everybody back, and now you're in a very different reality. And so it's these things that have created in my life that allowed me to get to this place of peace where I can sit here in front of you guys and just be able to have the Kartron and the Metatron and the angels be able to share these divine sciences, which used to be the occult secrets of the cosmos, now in the comfort of your living room. the Kartron experience is basically such a beautiful way to do that because you don't have to leave your country. You don't have to go and get the jet lag and pack your suitcase and all that stuff. You guys are right here. Well, heck, when I get going, I'm going to have virtual experiences where you will show up in this room and it won't cost much. So as we get this figured out, and sound is next, editing and video, so I can start creating these packages because boy, do I have a lot of product that's never been anything done with. I'm going to offer these as archival libraries so you can collect different series. And for you guys who've been so dedicated, I'm going to make it very available because to me, you guys have lifetime memberships in the Kartron experience. So, or actually, many lifetimes experience. 'Cause, you could be a pirate captain, and he's getting these dreams about some weird game show in 2017 that has this thing that's called a television, but it's really cool because it feels good, and I feel wiser for it. Who knows? It's really interesting. And as we get going, then I will be getting into my environments, which is great abundance and sharing of these stories in a greater way. So you guys have helped me to get there. You've helped Rebecca to get there. Look at how much she's blossomed from Halloween in 2014 to now. It's like, oh my God, we have an angel that's now dancing on the streets and getting honks. She's got hundreds of videos now on smartphones because people are watching her go crazy on the street selling cheap haircuts. So who knows what life brings and how much abundance we are really giving out. So thank you so much. And it is your contribution that is the true treasure for me. And the Kartron experience is possible because of your connection with this. So therefore, we on that level, working together, are that part of destiny, whatever we are, whatever we represent. And isn't it if we change one life, then we've accomplished what we really are here for. And then we have 7 billion bonuses that also can work. So we'll see you guys later, and thank you for everything. Have a nice day and a wonderful time. If I had music in my iTunes, I would actually play it, but I had to reformat my hard drive, and I don't have any. I don't think. Oh, I got something. This is this. This may be a very interesting. Let me see. I'm just going to pick a song, and it's going to be. It might be punk. It could be weird. We'll see what happens. Oh, there we go. I have no idea what this is, but it's the country song that we need. So, see you guys later. Have a nice time.
Okay, well, I guess that's done. We'll see you guys later. Bye. I guess that was probably good that it did continue. All right, have a good day. Arrivederci.